Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the brand new Superman movie that just came out. A little bit of a heads up before we begin. I got a light. Sam bought me a light, so I have a light now. This is without and this is with. My only concern is it glares in my glasses, but that's it. I mean, it does look good. I do have a lot of pre-filmed videos in the next little while that don't have the light, so there will be some without the light coming. That the lighting's still gonna just be my regular lighting of this room. But anyway, Superman. So, complete transparency. This is the very first Superman movie I have ever seen. I haven't watched any single Superman movies ever. I didn't watch any of the old ones with Christopher Reeves. I never watched any of the ones with Henry Cavill. Never watched any of them. Never super duper had any interest in them. And honestly, I don't know exactly what made me interested in this particular one to go and see it. But it was actually me who said to Sam, should we go see Superman? And he was like, yeah, sure. Let's be honest, it was probably the fact that this movie had crypto in it. And let's be honest, crypto on his own is a 10 out of 10. I loved every single scene with crypto in it. He was the best character. As I said, I haven't seen any other Superman movies, so I really have nothing to compare this to. So just on its own, I really liked this movie. I thought it was really, really good. I really liked, I don't know how to say his name, but David Cornsweet, I don't know. I really liked him as Superman. I thought he did a really, really good job. The only other thing I've seen him in was Twisters last summer. And it was funny because he's just like complete opposite as he was in Superman. And I've heard many good things about him as a person, and that he actually was very kind to a lot of the children on set. So we give him props for that. So one thing I said to Sam right away leaving this movie, that I was like, I don't know if this is just a Superman thing or if this is this specific Superman. I loved the humanity that he showed as Superman, and Sam did confirm that that is kind of Superman's MO, that he, even though he is an alien from another planet, he very much just wants to come off and present to everybody else that he is human and he is one of us. And one of my very favorite scenes of this movie was when him and the Justice Gang kind of team up to defeat this ginormous monster. You can tell that, yes, he's trying to defeat the monster. What he is doing more of is actually taking care of the people around, where the Justice Gang kind of hit the creature so it starts to fall. Superman is the one who is there getting people out of the way so they don't get crushed by this monster. He's making sure the monster doesn't fall into buildings where people are working. He's making sure those people are all okay before he goes back to fight. And then when they defeat this ginormous monster, the Justice Gang is there, specifically Nathan Fillion's character, Green Lantern, is there, and they're like, yes, you're welcome, everyone. Blah, 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 where he is immediately again going to the people to make sure they're okay. Children are approaching him and he's going up to them and hugging them and making sure that they are safe and they're doing okay. And I just loved that about him. I thought it was so cute to see this character who we know is like an alien acting very human. With that being said, I also liked that Crypto, even though he is like a super dog, acted very much like a dog. The very first scene of the movie is actually what was in the trailer, where Superman crash lands, I think in Antarctica, where his ice palace is, and he calls to Crypto to bring him back to the ice palace. And so the very first scene we see is Crypto coming to rescue him, but all he wants to do is play, and Superman is obviously hurt and dying and can hardly even breathe, and Crypto is just jumping on him as a dog would do. As someone who has a dog who is chewing on a bone right now as we speak, I know how dogs act, and 100%, he was so excited to see his kind of owner, and he was just like, yes, you're here, let's play. And every time we see Crypto, all I could think of was just my own dog, because he's a super dog. He can fly. He has super strength, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, he's still just a dog, and he still just wants to play. And it's so cute. And there's even one scene where Superman calls to him, and he just broke into a pet store and is eating all the food he can find. And it's like, if that's not a super dog, I don't know what is. Some people might disagree with me on this, but I actually really liked that this just kind of got started with the story. As the movie started, it did a kind of like breakdown of like Superman's life up until this moment. His planet was destroyed. He was sent to Earth by his parents. He was raised on Earth. He is Clark Kent, who is a reporter for the Daily Planet, and he announced to the world that he is Superman, and now he is defeating a robot that Lex Luthor has created and start the movie. I really liked that. Yes, I haven't seen any other Superman movies ever, but I know the general origin story of Superman. I know where he came from. I know what happened to him. I know he is actually Clark Kent, and he's a reporter, and he's dating Lois Lane. And I just kind of liked that the movie just kind of like was like, yeah, start. It wasn't an origin story, and I know some people might disagree. Like, I feel like some people might not like that, but I feel like it got us right into the action immediately. Like, it wasn't this like build up of, oh, I'm actually just a nerdy old Clark Kent masquerading as Superman, actually in disguise, and going into my phone booth to change my costume and all that stuff, and then romantic tension between him and Lois and all that stuff. No, it all just was there right from the beginning. It was immediately established Clark Kent is Superman, and he's fighting this villain, and it's Lex Luthor. Oh, and also he is already dating Lois Lane, and she knows he's Superman. And I don't know, I liked that. I don't need to relive. Again, I haven't seen any of the movies, but I didn't need to be reintroduced to his story. I just loved that this just dove right into the action, and here we go. He's Superman. He's dying at the moment, but he's going to get saved, and he's going to get right back to that battle. And I liked that. I thought it was really good. In terms of the other characters, I think every single actor did an incredible job. I thought Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor was incredible. A lot of his storyline and a lot of what he was kind of trying to achieve kind of blew right over my head, but that's because I'm not the smartest person in the entire world, and I don't really understand a lot. So that kind of blew over my head. But for the most part, I definitely could understand what was going on. And they didn't like dumb it down, but they also didn't overcomplicate things, like how Lex Luthor has created this like pocket universe and stuff. I feel like it was very easy to understand what he was doing, and it didn't need to be explained how he did it. It was just he did it. And even there's a point where Mr. Terrific realizes what he did, and he's just like, son of a bitch, he created a pocket universe, and that's it. Like, we don't need to know how he did it, and I'm fine with that. And for the most part, like, yes, there were some things that I did not fully understand, but I also kind of feel like they didn't dumb it down to make someone like me be like, ah, yes, I totally get what's going on. Like, I just feel like the war and all the political stuff, that's the stuff I don't get, because I don't really fully enjoy that kind of stuff, and I didn't fully really understand what was going on. But it was still easy enough to follow, in the sense that Lex Luthor was working with the one group, who I cannot remember the name of, to try to invade the other group, and Superman stepped in. So next, Lex Luthor doesn't like Superman. Oh, else he created a pocket universe. Don't explain how, but again, that's okay. So Nicholas Hoult was incredible as Lex Luthor. I thought he did a really good job. Rachel Brosnahan, I don't know if I'm saying that right again. I loved her as Lois Lane. I thought she did a really good job. I really liked her trying to kind of keep the balance between trying to stay professional when she was like dealing with like Superman, but then also still try to open up and be in a relationship with Clark Kent. I thought she did a really good job. She's a great actress. I don't think I've seen her in anything. What else has she been in? I don't think I've seen her in really anything, but I thought she did a really good job, and I really liked her as Lois Lane. I loved the members of the JodeyS gang. Again, as I kind of mentioned before, they were kind of what you would like kind of expect of superheroes, where they're like, we defeated the monsters, aren't we amazing, kind of a deal. And I thought Nathan Fillion really did a great job of like extra playing that up. What I really liked about the JodeyS gang was I really liked that Nathan Fillion's character as Green Lantern was kind of, like I said, the very showboaty type of person. And then we had Mr. Terrific, who was obviously very, very intelligent and was able to do so many things with computers and technology and everything. His scene in particular with Lois Lane when they go to the like kind of like, I don't know, military base thing, and he protects her in a shield whilst he kind of defeats everybody coming after them. That was a really, really cool scene. So I liked that he definitely was not very showboaty as a superhero. He just did what needed to be done no matter what, but he still obviously had a conscience in the sense that he went with Lois to try to find Superman. And then there was Hawkgirl, who was kind of like stuck in the middle of the two of them, where she was like not very showboaty, but also like didn't necessarily like feel the need to go with Mr. Terrific and Lois to go find Superman, but eventually like prevailed in the end to do what was right. I loved the JodeyS gang. I thought they were really funny. One thing that this movie had going for it that I find a lot of DC movies just don't have in the few DC movies I've watched is that there was some comedy to this movie. Was that mostly reliant on crypto? Yes, but there were still a few non-crypto moments that I laughed out loud during, which I find that DC, I feel like, has really tried to stick to like serious movies, like the newest Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. I don't know where that falls in like the DC universe, but he's Batman, so it is DC. But that was like a very serious movie, like no laughs, no chuckles in sight when it came to that movie. And even Wonder Woman I found to be not funny, which it's fine that they're not funny, but it is good to kind of like break things up a bit, for me at least. Like I definitely prefer that. And I feel like it had a very good line of sticking to what it was, having a few jokes in between, but still at the end of the day remaining a superhero movie, where you all know my thoughts on certain movies where they veer very much too far away from being a superhero movie and just go more towards being a comedy. So I don't know, I guess I'm on that line where it's like, okay, it is a superhero movie, let's stick to that, but we should still throw in a few jokes for the crowd. I don't know. Don't get me wrong, the new Batman movie was really good. It's just not my type of superhero movie. I don't know. Other people I know absolutely love that movie, and that's great. But yeah, I definitely like this style where there's some jokes in between amongst the chaos. But anyway, I think that's all I really have to say about the new Superman movie. I actually really enjoyed it. Shockingly, I didn't really know how I was going to feel going into it, but I really liked it. I had a great time. I would love to rewatch it again. Probably not in theaters, but I'll definitely buy it when it comes out on DVD. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I gave it 8 out of 10. Me and Sam both agreed. Like when we left that movie, we both were like, that was a solid 8. I really liked it. It's definitely one of my favorite superhero movies of recent, especially with all my thoughts towards Marvel lately. But yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. Does this make me a DC girl? No. DC has a very few movies I've enjoyed in comparison to Marvel, so I'll still give Marvel that over DC. But anyway, that is going to be it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. I post new videos every single Friday, and I would love to have you here. Thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you later. Bye, everybody.